Hi, welcome to NCERT Class 9 Geography. This is me Dinesh Kumar. Today we will discuss about first chapter. The name of the chapter is India Size and Location. These are the contents of this chapter. One by one we will cover in the coming slides. First is location. We will discuss about the location of India in the world map, then size in terms of area and population. Next we have India's contact with the world, and in the last we will discuss about neighboring countries of India. There are some terms or points which are related with this chapter we need to know. First is latitudes. So latitudes are the imaginary lines, and these are the horizontal lines that represent the distance of any points north or south of the equator. As you can see here, these are the horizontal lines north or south of the equator. The direction of these lines from east to west. So here you can see the latitudes are also known as parallels because these are the lines which are parallel to each other. The distance between these lines remains same when we move toward the north or south pole. Equator is the greatest circle here. This is 0 degree line which is called equator, and length of this circle is greater than the other circles. This line divides the globe into two equal parts. North of it is northern hemisphere and south of it is southern hemisphere. So in total we have 179 latitudes. Next is longitudes. Longitudes implies the vertical lines, and these are also imaginary lines, and these lines indicate the distance of any point east or west of the prime meridian. So this is 0 degree line which is prime meridian, and longitudes runs pole to pole, north pole to south pole. So this prime meridian divides the globe into two parts. Again, east of it is eastern hemisphere and western side there is western hemisphere. Opposite to prime meridian there is international date line, that is 180-degree line. This line determines the loss or gain of the day. For example, from east side, suppose this is international date line. I start my journey. This is eastern side and this is western side. And if I start my journey today is Friday, for example, if I cross the international date line, then it will be counted as Thursday. So in this way I am losing a day. Now let's discuss first topic of this chapter. This is location. As we know that India is a vast country lying entirely in the northern hemisphere, especially northeastern hemisphere. Let's see. So India's position is center of the Asian continent in northeastern hemisphere. The longitude of India and latitudes of India is, the latitudinal extent of India is 8 degree 4 minute north to 37 degree 6 minute north, and longitudinal extent of India is 68 degree 7 minute east to 97 degree 25 minute east. I am referring here north and east because India is north of the equator, above the equator, and east of the prime meridian. Andaman Nicobar Islands lie in the Bay of Bengal. Here Andaman Nicobar are separated by the 10-degree channel. The name of the 10-degree channel because of the 10-degree latitude. The capitals of this island group is Port Blair, and the southernmost point, that was Indra Point, submerged in 2004 due to tsunami. Lakshadweep Islands lie in the Arabian Sea. Here the capital of Lakshadweep Island is Kavaratti, and this island group is separated by the 8-degree channel from Maldives. Next is size. The total area of the India is 3.28 million square kilometer, which account for 2.4% of the total land area of the world. In terms of area, India is the 7th largest country after Russia, Canada, China, USA, Brazil, and Australia. The land boundary of India is 15,200 km. The coastal boundary of India, including Andaman Nicobar Island and the Lakshadweep Island, is 7,516.6 km. India is bounded by the Young Fold Mountains in the northwest, north, and northeast. Let's see. So these are the various mountain chains, as you can see here: Trans Himalaya, Great Himalaya, Middle Himalaya, and Outer Himalaya. The south of about 22° north latitudes, it begins to taper, as you can see here. So it must be here 22° somewhere here, and it becomes narrow and divide the Indian Ocean into two branches, that is Bay of Bengal branch and Arabian Sea branch. This slide represents the drifting of continents or land masses in the different direction. In the beginning, about 225 million years ago, there was supercontinent called Pangaea, surrounded by the sea called Panthalassa, and later on 150 million years back, it was divided into two land masses, Laurasia and Gondwana land. North America, Europe and Asia were the part of Laurasia, and South America, Africa, India and Australia and Antarctica were the part of Gondwana land. 100 million years back, various continents were like this. Later on, you can see in the last slide, last figure, this represents the present position of various continents of the world. So here you can see 71 million years back, India was south of the equator. Later on, it gradually passes through the equator 55 million years back, and 10 to 15 million years back, it struck with the Eurasian plate and resulted in the formation of Himalayas. India has the longest coastline with India coast, and this is because of the eminent position of India in the Indian Ocean. So that's why the Indian Ocean is named after the naming of India. The standard meridian of India, which is 82.5 degree east, passing through Mirzapur, as you can see here. This is the line, standard meridian. In Uttar Pradesh is taken as the standard time for the whole of country. The latitudinal extent of India, India influences the duration of day and nights as one moves from the south to north, because the southern part is more exposed to the sun, which is below the Tropic of Cancer. The east-west extent appears to be smaller than the north-south extent. How? Let's see. Here you can see the total distance between east Arunachal Pradesh and in the west Gujarat. This is 2,933 kilometers, and from Kashmir to Kanyakumari, this is 3,214 kilometers. So it is more. Next is India and the world. So how India established contact with the world or rest of the country. So India was connected with the various country through land route and sea routes. The Indian landmass has a central location between the East and the West Asia, as you can see here. So here East Asia and West Asia, so India is here, and it is connected with the land route and the sea routes. So India is a southward extension of the Asian continents, and the trans-Indian Ocean routes which connect the countries of Europe in the west and countries of the east in the East Asia provides a strategic and central location, because we are connected through various land route and sea routes, as you can see in this slide. India is connected with the Suez Canal also, so, which was constructed in 1869. So distance between European country reduced due to the construction of this canal, and this was about 7,000 kilometers between India and Europe, because all the ships which comes from Europe have to pass like this and go through and travel a lot of distance, which was near about 7,000 kilometers. The Deccan Peninsula protrudes into the Indian Oceans, thus helping India to establish the close contact with the West Asia, Africa and Europe from the west coast, and the Southeast Asia and East Asia from the eastern coast, as we have already covered. So in this way We are connected with the Southeast Asia and East Asia and European and African countries. It is India's eminent position in the Indian Ocean which justifies the name of the ocean, that is Indian Ocean. So India's contact with the world have continued through the ages, but relationship with the other countries through land route is much older than the maritime contacts. The various passes across the mountains in the north have provided uh, passages to ancient travelers. Passes or pass is a way across the mountain chains. So there are various passes which are given here. One by one we will cover. So here we have various passes, as you can see in this slide. First is Mintaka Pass, which connects Kashmir and China. Next is Parpik Pass, connects Kashmir and China again. Next we have here Punjab Pass, which connect Kashmir and China. Next is Agil Pass. Here we have Agil Pass. So this pass connects China with Ladakh. Then we have Banihal Pass. So Banihal Pass is here. This pass connect Jammu to Srinagar. Next we have Changla, which is given here. This law connect Ladakh with Tibet. Then we have Khardung law, which is here. It is near Leh in the Ladakh range. Next, Lanka law, again here. So India, it connects India and China, especially Jammu Kashmir. Next, Pir Panjal. So it is Pir Panjal should be somewhere here. Here we have Pir Panjal. So this is across the Pir Panjal range. Connect Jammu and Kashmir Valley. Next is Imshila. Imshila is here, as you can see. This law connects Ladakh region of India with the Tibet in China. Then we have Pensi law here. This law connect or provide a link between Kashmir Valley and Kargil. Next is Joji law. So here we have Joji law. This is an important and provide link between Srinagar on the one side and Kargil and Leh on the other side. Next is move to the Himachal Pradesh. So here we have three important passes. First is Baralacha Pass, connect Himachal Pradesh with Jammu and Kashmir. So here we have Baralacha Pass. Next is Rohtang Pass, which is given here. So here we have Rohtang Pass. This provide a road link between Kullu and the whole Spiti Valley of Himachal Pradesh. Next is Shipkila. So here we have Shipkila, connects Himachal Pradesh and Tibet. Now let's move to the Uttarakhand. So in Uttarakhand we have some important passes. These are Lepu Lake. This provide tri-junction between India, China and so here we have Lepu Lake, India, China and Nepal border. Next is Mana Pass. Mana Pass connects Uttarakhand with Tibet and it remains closed during winter, November to April. Then we have Niti Pass connects Uttarakhand with Tibet. This also remain closed during the winter. Now let's move to Sikkim. In Sikkim, two important passes. These are Nathula and Jelepla. Nathula connects Sikkim with Tibet, and it was closed in 1962 but reopened in 2006 again. Then we have Jelepla, which connects Sikkim with Bhutan. Here we have Jelepla, and provide passes, or you can say passes through Chumbi Valley, and it is also connected with Lhasa of Tibet. Next is in Arunachal Pradesh. So Arunachal Pradesh, here some important passes. First is Bomdila, connect Arunachal Pradesh with Bhutan. So here we have these passes, and we are connected through this pass, and provide link to Lhasa also. Next is Dihang Pass. So here we have Dihang Pass, connect Arunachal Pradesh with Myanmar. Next is Yongyap Pass. So here we have Yongyap Pass, connect Arunachal Pradesh with Tibet. Next is Differ Pass. Differ Pass is important. This is a tri-junction of India, China and Myanmar, and this is important land route between these countries, and remain open throughout the year. Next is Kumjuang Pass, which connects Arunachal Pradesh with Myanmar. Next is Chankhan Pass. So this is also important, connects Arunachal Pradesh with Myanmar. Another we have here Tunga Pass, which connects China with India, Arunachal Pradesh. So these were the important passes. Let's move to the next slide. So these routes have contributed in the exchange of ideas and commodities since ancient times, because Indians and foreigners use these passes to exchange the various commodities and goods. The idea of Upanishada and Ramayana, the stories of Panchatantra, the Indian numerals and decimal system thus could reach many parts of the world through these land routes and sea routes. The spices, muslins and other merchandise were taken from to the different countries through these routes. The influence of Greek sculptures and the architectural style of dome and minarets from the West Asia can be seen in different parts of the country. It did not originated over India in India, but came from the different part of the world through these routes. Now next is neighboring countries. So let's discuss about these. So India has a 28 state and 80 union territories. So here important neighboring countries of India are Pakistan in the west and in the north, Afghanistan. Then we have China in the northeast north, and Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar in the east, Bangladesh, and then in the south we have two main island countries. These are Sri Lanka and Maldives. So this was about the neighboring countries of India. Here Sri Lanka is separated by Pak state and Gulf of Mannar. State is a narrow water body which separate two large water bodies, as you can see here. Gulf is again inlet of water inside the land, but smaller than the bay. So this was about this chapter. Thank you and have a good day ahead.